Welcome back to the Fire Emblem Awakening playthrough. Last time, we defeated Walhart the Conqueror and put an end to his dreams of world domination. And you might notice that I didn't start off on the same screen here. That's because I've done the same thing that I did back when we first did Chapter 16. Basically, there's a cutscene that happens immediately after you load up the game, after beating Chapter 20, and it makes more sense if you see it immediately before going to Chapter 21, and we're not going to do that this time. So, I've recorded that separately, and I'm going to edit that onto a later video. For now, though, this merchant has some really good items, so I'm going to buy them. I have a ton of gold, so I can pretty much afford to buy these. Don't think we've seen a Brave Axe anywhere before, and I may as well take Bolganone as well. You know what, it's funny, I kind of want another Javelin. And the reason for that is, I was looking all over the map for places where I could buy a short spear. I couldn't find any. Then I went to serenadesforest.net and looked up the shop list, and it turns out, and this is just insane, it turns out that there is only one shop on the map that sells short spears. That is the final Spot Pass Paralog. So by the time we have access to short spears from the shop, there is literally nothing left to do in the game but the final chapter. So that's really annoying. But speaking of shops we do have access to, the shop from Brady's Paralog sells a lot of really useful staves. So I am I'm gonna stock up on physics staves actually. Yeah, might as well get like 5. They're not cheap, but they're extremely useful, so I want to give them to pretty much all of my healers, because we're actually going to be needing them quite soon. I already had one, I think, from a chest or something. So you've got one, Brady's not high enough of a rank to use one. Yeah, we don't really need that Fortify anymore. You take one, and Libra already has one, so we're... Wait, Anna, is her rank high enough to use them? Yes, it is, so she could maybe just hold on to one for now. Or, I don't think she really needs it for at this point. Anyway, what we're going to do now is, you'll see that we still have some child paralogs on the map. My goal is, before we go to Chapter 21, we're going to have to take care of all of these. The reason for this is that by the time we go into Chapter 21, some major plot events are going to start. The third and final act of the game will begin, and at that point, the story that happens in all the chapters, it really makes no sense to go off and do side quests during it, so I want to have it completely uninterrupted. And for that reason, we're going to go and recruit all of the children now. The first one we're going to do is actually this one, at Kidnapper's Keep, Paralog 15. Now, technically, Cordelia was the next in line of the female characters that we recruited in the story, but I want to save her Paralog till later because hers is very, very annoying. First, though, some supports. Most of these I could have unlocked in the last chapter, but I just didn't want to waste time, so... Firstly, Rickhead and Brady B.
Thanks. No.
I get the feeling that Rickhead kind of likes being called old-timer because, well, he's always wanted to be older. Violin, that's interesting. I see where this is going. Oh, that line about, well, you born in a barn would be kind of funny if Donald is his father, which, I mean, that statement is probably true for Donald. Oh, Brady.
Hey.
There's a slight chance that Maribel may be trolling you again.
No. What? Listen.
But at least Brady gets an excuse to talk to his father for a bit. I like that support, it's kind of nice. And now we have Libra and Laurent B. Now, this one actually reveals quite a lot. This I actually find to be one of the more interesting child supports.
Yes.
So before, Laurent told us that he was actually older than Lucina, which makes no logical sense, seeing as in this timeline Laurent hasn't been born yet, but Lucina has. So Lucina arrived... chapter 1, I believe. That's when Lucina first arrived in this era. That was 2 years ago. Laurent has been here for 5.
Simply put.
So, Laurent has aged 3 more years than Lucina, despite being younger than her to start with.
In Naga's name.
Indeed.
Now, we don't really know for sure any concrete ages for the children characters. We do know Crom and Lissa's age, because you can figure that out via process of elimination from Emerin, and the fact that their father died 10 years ago. But for Laurent, okay, so he's aged 3 more years than Lucina has over the course of this time period, and yet he was younger than her to start with, so... That means that he would have been born, generally speaking, because if Lucina was born 2 years after the war with Plegia, that would mean that Laurent would at least have to be born after that, and then... Can't say exactly how much older than he is than Lucina by now, because she was older than him to start with, but...
Away with you!
Anyway. He doesn't look like he's fine. So yeah, Laurent he arrived here 5 years too early, and yeah, he had to stay on his own and probably not contact anyone for fear of creating time paradoxes for 5 whole years. That is actually pretty sad.
Where are you?
I actually unlocked this in a skirmish because they didn't quite reach this level in the last chapter.
Hey.
Nay.
I see. What?
Hmm?
I'm sorry.
Farewell.
I get the feeling that if someone really was as long-lived as a lot of the dragon characters in this game, they'd probably forget things much more easily than most normal lifespanned people would. And yeah, this support shows that Tiki is actually still pretty immature.
Yes.
Nay.
Second on all, and yet she blows raspberries at people.
No.
My lady.
Hey.
Right.
I see.
That is such a weird support. But anyway, I think that's pretty much all we need to do before going into this paralogue. So now I want to just make sure some skills are in order. And this is going to spoil whose child we're going to be recruiting, but for Kellum, Rally Defense is really the best I can pass down at the moment, but I would prefer to pass down the level 15 skill from General, but I don't want to grind that much. On Tharia, though, Vengeance being in her bottom slot is just perfect. Absolutely perfect, and you'll see why once we meet her child. It's just such an in-character skill for her child, you'll see. Anyway, let's begin. A shot from the dark. This kind of hints at what class they're going to be. We'll also be seeing them immediately, and noticing that they're carrying a bow. Also noticing that they're confronting yet another reused portrait. So that's 3 times I've seen him so far. Yeah, that would be the Wario guy from Owain's Paralogue, the Crom impersonator from She Who Must Not Be Named For She Has Been Erased From History's Paralogue, and now this guy. This is our child character this time, and I must say I actually really like her with dark hair from Kellum. It actually fits her, I think. But as you can see, she's carrying a bow. Oh, such a poor judge of character.
My lord.
But it looks like we've run into slave traders. Now, I wonder if these are the same slave traders who Noe escaped from. And seeing as she's now appearing in the opening cutscene, we know whose child this is. Yeah, a 1-year death curse would probably not be long enough for, in order to save this character here. Now, this is actually quite a large map, and it's got a river running through the middle of it, and we're seeing quite a lot of flying enemies as well, so, also a few of them with Lancebreaker. Also, lots of cavalry. In fact, every enemy in this chapter is either flying or on horseback, so lots of movement from the enemies. You'll also notice that, because this is hard mode, every enemy has a forged weapon here. This is why I didn't do these paralogs until now. Like, technically, I could have done this a lot earlier, but there's no way in hell I could have possibly completed it back then, because, yeah, level 7 promoted enemies, that is lower than Wildheart's personal guards, but the fact they have all forged weapons arguably makes them even stronger, in my opinion. Ugh. Anyway, now I actually did grind Olivia in a couple of Risen skirmishes. The reason for that is we're going to be recruiting her child soon, and their stats depend on hers. But for now, I might not use her and Gregor in this chapter. I definitely want to use the Vake and the Cordelia. The reason being that I want to get them as many levels as possible before we recruit their child, which we'll probably be doing next. Now, as for who else we can use, I tried to get Owain and Chell some supports, but they didn't quite unlock one. Now, I actually wouldn't mind bringing Brady for this one, but because of who we're going to be recruiting. But firstly, definitely need to bring these two. Also definitely want Virion and Shursh, not only because we'll be recruiting their child soon, but also because bow users are very, very important in this chapter due to the abundance of flying enemies. Now, I don't think we need Tiki and Cyree. I've used them quite a lot, and I might not be using Cyree as much from now on, because she's pretty much, in fact, I don't think she ever shows up in a plot-relevant scene ever again, so yeah, sadly, her time was the Val mark, and that is now past. I'll try and use her sometimes, though. I don't think I need Yarn either. And I still want to get Lissa and Owain. I definitely want to bring one healer, especially one with a physics staff, because that's very, very useful in this chapter. Now, I could bring Lonku and Owain, but a lot of the enemies here have lances, so I'm not sure that's really the best option here. Let's see. Should we bring... because Brady does have a rescue staff, and that could be useful too. Though I have used him quite a bit lately. Who haven't I used that much recently? Haven't actually used Donald in a while, but it's for good reasons. He's kind of overpowered by the standards at this point in the game. Yeah, this is the real question. Wait a minute, I'm not bringing Mary Sue, am I? I mean, I am bringing her, but do I need her here? I actually do want to build up the supports between Mary Sue and Lucina, and between Morgan and Crom, because I kind of want to max those soon. We only have room for one more character, though. And if we've only got room for one more, why not bring Olivia? That's probably a good option. Okay, so what we want to do firstly is, we want to have Kelm and Tharia as far forward as possible. because they're going to need to get to this character very quickly. Oh, wait, I have Muriel here for no good reason. That's why I didn't have an extra deployment slot. Who do I need to bring? Possibly Brady. I kind of want to just use him maybe for healing or rescue staffing, because I want to get him support up with a character that we're going to recruit in this chapter. Let's see, though. Olivia does need to be careful of all of these flying enemies, though, especially the Falcon Knights. And the Cordelia needs to be careful of the abundance of Bow Knights in this chapter, as does Shersh, so gonna have to watch out there. Yeah, I can afford to have Cordelia a bit further back. And Lissa's mostly going to be on physics staff duty. Now, one thing I want to do in inventory, though, I want the Vake to grab the Volon Axe, because that's going to be useful here too. Mainly because the Bronze Bow does terrible damage to flyers. Anyway, Beast Killers, definitely got to make sure that we've got some Beast Killers here, that's good. And now I think we're about ready.
So tired.
So, this is our paralogue character for this chapter. She thinks she's pretty much doomed. She starts out as an NPC unit, and she has absolutely no weapons at all. That doesn't bode well. Plus, there's a whole ton of enemy flyers that are, surrounding her. Now, normally I'd say you want to rush Crom or her mother up to her as soon as possible to recruit her. Noir is not recruited in that way, though. Her recruitment's actually quite special. And let's just say we don't need to worry about talking to her for now. Firstly, I'll just make a save here. Though we don't have to worry about talking to her for now, we will have to worry about plugging that gap quickly. Now, the enemies there will not actually target her well, they won't actually target her at first, because obviously, like the guy said, scars lower the sale price, and yeah, they want to sell her into slavery and not actually kill her. As horrifying as that sounds. So, they won't actually harm her just yet. Now, I'm going to go for Cordelia here for the extra mobility. I just need to make sure that she stays out of range of any archers. And in this case, the thing with Vake at the moment is that he is actually getting pretty fragile for this point in the game. I haven't used the Vake and the Cordelia in the while, so they're looking a little weak compared to the rest of us, and I'll need to fix that quickly. And for this, see, yeah, B support there. Crom's got a B support with Gary Stu, so just want to focus on getting those supports up a bit. Now, there are a bunch of enemies down here, and I like to lure them and take them out early on. But other than that, the characters who go here to lure these enemies aren't really going to be the main part of, yeah, might as well get some more sword experience. Going to really be part of the main combat of this chapter. And Liz is kind of fine staying back, mostly because of the Pegasus Knights. Olivia also has the special dance skill, which is going to boost the stats of anybody she dances for. As you can see there, Brady gets a whole bunch of +2s to his stats. Wait, that's strength, magic, defense, and resistance. So, basically all the offensive stats and all the defensive stats. Don't want Brady to go too far forward, though, especially without a pair-up partner. And yeah, a couple of these guys, yeah, they hit very, very, very hard because of those forged silver weapons.
Our bonds are strong.
Okay, baited you into attacking Virion. Of course, Virion's not actually gonna... Wow, nice dodge there.
Forgetting someone.
And I did make sure to equip a silver axe and not a hand axe. So she actually does decent damage rather than pathetic damage. Yeah, my main goal here is to lure the enemies and take them out on our terms. Those flyers, though, I don't like those flyers, especially when we've got Olivia involved. Now, at the end of the first turn, a special event is going to play. Well, she is an archer, she could use them. Huh. Maybe one of the children characters is actually going to recruit themselves. Wait, what's this about a talisman? Okay, then.
Repent and despair.
Well, for those concerned that she wasn't crazy enough to be Tharia's daughter, that just proved it. There's a lot more to Noir than meets the eye. A lot more. And she can now actually fight. In fact, she's not a green unit anymore. She is on our side. So, the reason why you didn't need to worry about sending someone to talk to her is because she recruits herself, basically. On the second turn, she automatically joins you and is fully controllable, which is pretty awesome. Now, I said these enemies won't actually specifically target her. They won't unless she makes the first move. The moment she attacks one of these enemies, they will start flying towards her. But only that one enemy will do that. And the cool thing about this is, these enemies are over a wall and will take several turns to actually reach Noir. This chapter seems to have been specifically set up to give her as much experience as possible. And I really like that and wish a lot of the other child paralogs were like that too. So my goal here is to have Kellum plug that gap there, and then have Noir just shoot all of these flyers down and gain a ton of experience. So, might get kind of boring when that happens, but that is my goal. Speaking of goal, my goal for the immediate future is to take out every single one of these archers so the skies are free for Shersh and for Cordelia. And while I want Kellum to get more experience, switching over to him might be a bad idea because it means less movement.
Good luck.
Do you like darkness?
Well, looks like she's already, well, she's cursing them, but the exact opposite of the slow 1-year death curse, the immediate 1-second death curse. Her stats are pretty high anyway, I'm not too fussed about that. Now, I actually kind of want to... The problem is, if Virion gets attacked by too many enemies, he's kind of going to probably die. That's a weird sentence, but guess it makes some sort of sense. Also, it's weird, like, that's a good defense bonus, but I guess these guys are just that powerful. It's a little bizarre that... You know what, as much as I want Virion to get the experience, I actually think it's probably better if Shersh does. As in if Shersh fights here, because she has better defense. Then again, all these enemies will rush Brady if I give them the chance. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this.
I'm right here.
Just look at that base non-critical hit damage. 61 is insane.
Fancy that.
And here's where I get kind of worried, because Cordelia is actually having a few issues at the moment. I get this slight feeling that Cordelia may have been kind of RNG screwed for me. I don't know why, but it kind of feels like Cordelia's just not been as good as she usually is.
You want some?
Her strength is just not as high as it usually is in most of my playthroughs. That is a consequence of Dark Knight having less strength than Falcon Knight, but in most of my playthroughs I promote her to Dark Flyer anyway, so not sure it really should be too different. Also, Vake gaining defense there might be kind of helpful, actually. And I don't actually need to use Lissa or anyone to heal, but the question is, Brady, his defense is okay, but I doubt he'll survive getting hit by 2 enemies. I'll have him wait here for the moment. And I could heal 1 HP on those people, but I'm not going to do that. And just going to go ahead and dance. Actually, dancing for Lissa is quite useful here, because that +2 magic is going to equate to a 1 space increase on the range of the physics staff, so that's pretty cool. Also, if Lissa gets 1 level up in this chapter, she'll learn a skill that's also very useful in that regard. How many uses does... Well, Chrom doesn't even have a rapier yet. There are quite a lot of enemies here. I'm actually kind of worried about Lucina.
Face me.
Just want Chrom to get enough weapon experience to use a javelin.
Thank you.
Sometimes dual strikes look really silly. Chrom's like, I'm going to run here. No, I'm going to turn around and run back again. Yeah, that's a little strange. Oh yeah, and Lucina can go in the water. Probably not too helpful for her to go in the water, but interesting regardless. 74 avoid, and Gary Stu's is actually higher than hers. No doubt due to a higher pair-up bonus. Grandmaster gives a pretty uniform pair-up bonus all around, as you can see. I haven't actually fully discussed pair-up bonuses just yet, but they're kind of partly, and because they mostly have lances, I think I can safely equip the lance here and take less damage. Pair-up bonuses are based partly on class and partly on the support rank you have with your pair-up partner. Basically, the higher your support rank is, the more bonuses you get with pair-up. Like, it slightly increases the bonuses. Each class also has a fixed set of pair-up bonuses. So as you can see, like, Tactician and Grandmaster give a relatively uniform bonus to strength, skills, and speed, and magic. Whereas, say, like, Armor Knight gives a good bonus to defense. There are some classes that even give pair-up bonuses to movement, which is quite helpful. Okay, Chrom attained weapon level D. That is useful because it means he can now use javelins, finally giving Chrom access to a ranged attack that isn't Levin Sword, which is going to be quite useful.
Come on.
You know, if I was being efficient with experience, it would probably be best to have Brady go down here to try and get some experience off of these guys, but I kind of want to grind up supports on these characters.
Think again. We're not done yet.
Yeah, I had a feeling that you'd eventually get the dual strike in.
You tipped the scale.
Yeah, Gary Stu, stop referencing overused memes. Well, I mean, they weren't overused memes at the time, but now... any line that becomes a Smash Brothers taunt instantly becomes a meme. Oh yeah, and the final thing that affects pair-up bonuses is just how high the stats are of the characters involved, and that's why I've been grinding up Olivia a bit, because her lack of stats has been affecting Gregor's stats as well, due to the whole pair-up bonus thing. Okay, let's hope that Vate can survive this pretty well. And he's surviving very excellently at the moment. No dual strike, really. You know, actually, I'm pretty sure Beast Killers are effective against everything on this map, so having Beast Killers, definitely a good thing for this chapter.
This one's ours.
And you'd go Furion, of course you would. Now, those two paladins that are rushing forward, I think they can actually attack Noir, so that's not so good. Also, that Falcon Knight has rally speed for some reason. It's not getting healed from Refresh, though, because there are other enemies within 3 spaces. So what I'm basically doing is baiting the enemies one at a time and then shooting them down with Noir. Hopefully shooting them down with Noir. That one usually misses. For some reason, the second shot she gets off from that Pegasus Knight nearly always misses in all of my attempts at this chapter. I'm not sure why. And as much as I want to gain some experience here, I'm wondering if actually, no, rally movement is not a good idea. I'm going to need Cordelia to finish off at least one of these enemies. Of course, the problem with using Beast Killers on Griffin Riders is 1, weapon triangle disadvantage against axes, and 2, some of them may have Lance Breaker, which makes it even less accurate against them. Well, you saw that back in Morgan's Paralogue. That was really, really frustrating. Let's see what I can use here, though. You know, if Virion gets this enemy, he'll roughly be equal in experience with Shersh, I think.
Have you? Got up now.
And for some reason, I think Shersh is equipping a hand axe now. Must have accidentally used that at one point on the last turn. Even selecting a weapon on the combat preview screen automatically equips it, so that can get annoying sometimes if you forget. Now, this Falcon Knight obviously needs to die now. And weirdly enough, this actually does the most damage. 52% hit rate on the weapon triangle advantage from a Falcon Knight is kind of insane.
Thank you.
And Lucina's still low level there, so I'll just get a bit more Lance experience. I might do a video going into the full specifics of how pair-up stat bonuses are calculated eventually. I do have a few more plans for a couple of bonus parts. I definitely do want to do one covering internal level because it's pretty relevant when grinding, and I might actually do an episode on both internal level and in the same part I'll talk about the most efficient ways to grind using the grinding DLC. Now, I could rescue Noir right now, but she's actually fine where she is. Don't need to see that. And don't need to see that. I don't usually like skipping battle animations unless I'm either grinding or the enemy is not going to, well, do that much anyway. Now, the real question here is, will she hit a second time? Not really the end of the world if she doesn't, because I don't think this Falcon Knight will double her, but still.
So tired.
Well, that's one of her kill quotes? I never realized that. Of course, being the child of a magic user, she does have kind of a thing like Owain does, where she gains magic quite a bit as well as strength. But unlike Owain, she does naturally have access to a few mage classes. I mean, I guess Owain has natural access to Sage, but he's usually not that great at it. But Noir will always have access to Dark Mage, though with Kellum as her father, as you can see here, her defense is pretty high. And that's going to be kind of useful. Also Vengeance, which is also going to be useful. Pavis would have been useful too, but I just didn't want to grind for that, because I don't want to get too overpowered in this game. Does anybody need healing at all? Because eventually we're going to have to take on some enemies around here. Now, I'll talk about that wall later, because it's actually kind of interesting and a bit deceptive. You think you can get over it, but actually you can't.
Nice.
Though, once you cross a kind of a line around here, all of these enemies start charging at you, so usually best to just be careful, because the flyers will sometimes go around here and ignore Noir, and we don't want to do that because we want her to get experience, so... Fair warning, the next few turns might end up kind of boring, but this paralog is basically designed so that Noir gets as much experience as possible. And I'm kind of surprised that there was no Dual Strike there, and she does have a weapon equipped, so not sure why she didn't Dual Strike there.
I've got your back.
Farewell.
And yet another Master Seal. Seems we get one of those in pretty much every child paralog.
Back off.
Yeah, so those two paladins are incoming. And for this now, the strange thing is, Tharia and Crom don't actually get conversations with Noir at all now that she's joined, so, interesting. Now, what I like to do here is I like to switch Kellum to the front, but unequip her Tharia's weapon so that she doesn't actually dual strike and ruin Noir's kills. Speaking of Noir's kills, I'm going to go ahead and provoke another Griffin Rider. This guy has Lancebreaker though, so he's quite annoying to kill him. And basically now all we have to do is, okay, if I do this, I'll actually be boosting double supports here,
Stay
hopefully. Yep, getting supports with both Gary Sue and with Mary Sue at the same time. Okay, now everyone's flying towards us. It must be a particular turn, then. And as you can see, a lot of them are kind of avoiding Noir and going straight towards the characters down here. So, I hate it when that happens. It robs Noir of some valuable experience. The other cool thing here is, none of these guys at all, none of them have any ranged weapons, so Noir is completely safe attacking them.
Time to play.
And this is why I like Vengeance on her. It fits so well with, basically all of Noir's quotes involve her getting possessed by her split personality, so Vengeance does fit for that quite a lot. I really want you guys to... There's no chance that if I run away, you will all instead decide to fly back over to Noir's end. I could always kind of have her catch up in skirmishes, maybe. Lancebreaker, that's annoying. Actually, for now, I'll just wait here. Okay, that's very good, because unless Kellum criticals, that's perfectly set up so that Noir can finish that job. And I was counting on you doing that.
Shall we not have it?
Though, yeah, Vake is doubling less and less, and for some reason Cordelia's dual striking less as well. Yeah, I knew that would miss because of Lancebreaker. That is quite a lot of flyers clustering around, though. Speaking of flyers, though, this is one less flyer.
Hey, over here.
To the abyss with you.
Yeah, the contrast between Noir's regular personality and her split personality is pretty insane. And in my practice run, she gained a lot more strength. What's happening here? Must be a curse! Okay, so Lancebreaker, also Lancebreaker. I guess Brady could do exactly enough to take down one of them. Perfect. You know, I don't think I've actually said this. I mean, I might have said this before, but I may have forgotten. Is that I actually... okay, so basically the thing with Griffin Riders, and I sort of have to have Cordelia attack the non-Lancebreaker one. The thing with Griffin Riders, I really wish that they'd actually expand Griffin Riders into a full class tree. Basically, make them like the hero counterpart to, like, if Pegasus Knights are flying sword masters, just with lances, I'm talking stat-wise here, and Draco Knights are flying armor knights, make them the kind of hero counterpart, the one that's kind of in between speed and power. That would actually be kind of cool. And yeah, just give them their own class identity. It feels weird they introduced just like a new type of creature as a mount here, but only had it as a promotion for an entirely different mounted class. Then again, that's how Draco Knights were first introduced, and that's how, well, I guess, I mean, Fates has new mounts as well, and guess you had the Wyvern Knights in, Sacred Stones. That was a case of a strange lost in translation issue.
Hey, thanks.
Oh yeah, Lissa was actually C-supported with Virion from a while back. That was a case of a translation issue because, yeah, Wyvern Riders originally were called Dragon Knights in Japanese. In the English version of Blazing Sword, they changed them to Wyvern Riders, presumably to distance the Wyvern mounts from the dragons that were fought by humans in the Scouring in that game. it was a plot point. There weren't many dragons left in the world in that game, so it made sense not to have a class called Dragon Knight, because that would sound kind of contradictory. But then Sacred Stones introduced Wyvern Knight, which basically was an actual wyvern for the mount, and it just had to be like Wyvern Lord versus Wyvern Knight. Despite the fact that their mounts were totally different, they just had a very small name change. And yeah, here's where things get maybe a little bit boring. I'll try and speed through this as fast as I can. But I want Noir to get as much experience as possible. Of course, she's not quite fully leveling up for each kill now. In fact, at this point, it's actually beneficial for her to shoot an enemy and not kill them, because that gives her at least a little bit more experience. Now, there's one more set of enemies here. I want to lure these, well, a lot later. Also, this wall right here. Flyers can cross this wall, but anyone else can't and get stuck here. See this tiny little thing here? This is also an impassable wall. Even though it looks like there's a little gap there, there is no gap. So you need your flyers to ferry people over there. Fortunately, everyone I have down here who isn't a flyer, I'm using for the healing, basically, so I'm fine with that. And yeah, these pairs are not going to do much for the rest of this chapter unless I really need them. The reason why I'm keeping Tharia on Kellam's pair up, but not equipping her weapon, is because in one of my practice runs, I tried separating them, and, well, without the pair up bonus to speed, Kellam was getting doubled, and actually he ended up getting killed by a Griffin Rider, so yeah, the bonus to speed was necessary. Also, the thing about Noir being an archer. Remember back when we recruited Virion that I said a really, really long time ago that we wouldn't be getting another archer for a very long time? Yeah, Noir is that other archer. And she and Virion are the only two archers in the game. So, that's kind of interesting. I mean, admittedly, that might be a good thing, seeing as most people consider archers to be fairly bad in the Fire Emblem series.
We can do this.
At least they don't have the movement of armored classes in this game. I'll give them that, at least. Where's the second... Oh, the second event tile's there. We're probably not going to get that one. And Kellam's actually going to finish you, isn't he? Probably should have had Kellam attack first, then. Well, at least he gains a little bit of extra experience from that.
Just don't fail.
And I can't have Kellam attack again. I'm going to have to... Let's see. Nah, she'll double. And she equipped her weapon again, so... This is going to look very boring, but I'm going to have to do this. Because I want her to get as much experience as she can. And it's definitely working. She's getting some great level up so far. If only Brady could use a rescue staff. I meant physics staff. He can use a rescue staff. I meant physics staff because I kind of want him to get some supports with her. Because I am actually planning on pairing them together. Basically, second-gen pairings don't affect nearly as much as first-gen pairings, and that's why I generally don't really, I'm not too, fully invested in shipping second-generation characters, because apart from stat bonuses, second-generation pairings have absolutely no effect on the story, because there is no third generation. But at least, I can finally take this guy out. And get a level up. Taking it to level 15, that's really good. And getting lots of skill and speed, which is nice. She doesn't seem to suffer from nearly as much of a bad luck stat as either of her parents, which is good. And her skill's definitely a lot better than her mother's. For now, it's time to head around this end. But every enemy there is going to charge the moment we get in their range, so I'm going to prepare for that, but what I'm also going to do is yeah, what I would like to do is actually have one of those people ferry Brady over to the other side. It might actually be more effective to pair Noir up with Brady here rather than... because she already has a C support with both her parents automatically. Speaking of her parents, they're going to slowly plot around that way. Meanwhile... yeah, I'm going to have to separate. Or I only really need to separate one of them. And then, yeah, next turn Cordelia can ferry Brady across. Of course, that can't happen this turn because well, I can actually do this. Switch over. Wait. Refresh Cordelia's movement. And have her fly over. And separate Brady there. Now Brady's across in one turn. Lissa, I don't really mind her not being across the river. Although there are a lot of flyers here that could pose some danger to her. And especially Olivia. I'll need to get Olivia out of here soon. Also, they can now pair up again immediately, so that's useful. And she may as well step on this event tile. Seeing both personalities there. And here's why I brought the rescue staff on Brady. Yeah, being the son of Maribel, and also, yeah. So I think this is the first time you'll be seeing this on camera. When a character already has 5 skills equipped, you need to drop a skill in order to learn a new one. The thing is, I'm not actually sure just how much I'll be using Rally Magic, so Heal Touch is useful, this is kind of useful, Slow Burns, but I guess sort of useful. I mean, normally I would get rid of... You know what? I'm actually going to get rid of Miracle. It could save my life, but like I've maintained earlier, it is more like... It only really kind of has an impact if you're playing badly, so... Could ferry Olivia over, but I'm not sure that'd be fully safe. Yeah, this is looking kind of boring, but, well, at least Brady's, wait, effects end after 15 turns. Okay, so does that mean that on the 15th turn you have plus 15 to everything, and then it just goes away entirely, or do you just have 15 for the rest of the battle? I'm still not sure about that, because I've never really used that skill very much. Only +1 to strength and +6 to magic. Not exactly the most useful bonuses for Noir at this point, but if she reclassed to Dark Mage, they could be useful. And that animation there is good for reminding me that I need to equip a weapon on Callum now. And now here's the point where things could get a little bit dicey. I need to not get too impatient here. I need to carefully lure enemies in. Preferably... Okay, what I want to do is get to those woods. Of course, Cordelia and Shersh can't benefit from them because they ignore terrain effects, but still. Enemies aren't moving just yet. Now, I could try and take some pressure off by having... them, but I'm worried that the good thing is that you won't actually, the boss won't move until you provoke him. Also, in a complete jerk move, the boss has Bowbreaker, so, and he's 1 level off the level that he's supposed to learn that, so cheater. The boss has Bowbreaker, and that means that trying to kill the boss with Noir for some fitting revenge, sorry, not gonna work, because he'll just, you know... You won't be able to hit him, basically. And that's extremely annoying. Okay, it's luring time. And I still don't have a weapon equipped on Tharia, but that should be not too bad. Okay, let's just hope that none of the enemies that can... Okay, only the boss is a bow knight, so I don't need to worry about... For once, Virion has more experience than Shersh does. Now here... You know what, I think I'll... Okay, how many of them are there? 1, 2, 3, 4... It's 5 of them. Do I need to lure over one of them with Gary Stew? Though I don't want them all to go towards Garrus too, so I'll just do this for the moment. Oh yeah, you're attacking with a long-range weapon, of course you would.
Thank me later.
Good dual guard there. Oh, exactly enough. I would have preferred if you did slightly less than exactly enough, and then I could have had your daughter finish them off, but still. At least Kellum gets some more experience, and it's always cool when he gets more experience, because Kellum needs some more attention. Okay, that's definitely not going to one round. Definitely because of that, yeah. Lancebreaker. Okay, here they come, and I think I will need to Virion shoot one of them, which should probably be this guy here. Otherwise, Lancebreaker is going to be a problem for Cordelia.
Fancy that.
And I definitely don't want Cordelia to go into range of the boss, because that would be incredibly stupid. Problem is, I really don't think it's safe for, yeah, Noir to be out and about at this point. Though, how much... that's still fairly high accuracy. If I did that, though, the boss would be provoked into... Is he going to double Vake? He might double Vake, actually. His speed's 10 higher at base, and Cordelia gives Vake +7. Don't think that's actually enough to get doubled. Yeah, that'd be 25 in comparison to... Yeah, he's not going to get doubled, actually. Bronze Bow, nope. Vaughn Axe also, nope, okay. Yeah, I can't really use the Beast Killer, though, which is annoying. You know what? I actually might have to have Brady fight one of these enemies. And have Noir attack next turn. Oh, Dual Strike would have been cool. Dual Strike would have been very cool. And, yeah, from here... That's not gonna take you out. I want to leave some enemies for Noir, but I don't want Brady to die, obviously. I think he'll probably be safe anyway, though. Though doing this might be a good idea.
Yay, danger.
There.
And that gets Kellen to level 10, I believe. His strength and defense are still really good. Okay, I don't want to get too cocky, but I think we should be safe here. Well, yeah, well, Brady's going to obliterate this guy, but hopefully Noir dual strikes. And she didn't. That should be fine, though. Now we just have one Falcon Knight left, and, yeah, even if it doubled, it wouldn't kill, which is good. Come on, Noir. Nope. Well, Brady did get a level up, though. Gaining magic is pretty good. One step closer to that incredibly high magic cap that he's going to have. And here is where I really want... Oh, not quite. But... Can I do this so that... Okay, firstly, I definitely need to Physics Staff Brady here. Just in case. And Alyssa's going to learn a skill that's going to really help her with that Physics Staff, actually. As a sage, she'll learn Tome Affair at level 15, which grants +5 magic if you're using a tome. The cool thing about this is, because the range of long-range staves is your magic stat over 2, that actually boosts the range of physics staves, which is pretty cool. Falconites can do something quite similar. What they can do is with... Okay, I gotta set this up so that I can... Although, wait, transferring someone ends your movement for the turn, doesn't it? Okay, that will hopefully work, provided that Shersh unequips her weapon. So yeah, what I was saying was... yeah, Falconites can do a similar trick by using Lance Fair, which gives you +5 strength on your arm with a lance, but the thing about that is, it increases your magic by 5 instead if you're armed with a magic lance, in other words, the shock stick. If you use the shock stick with Lance Fair, it can increase the range of staves on your staff using Falconites, so that is actually a pretty useful thing, trick you can do. And now... well, I guess, Kellum should... it's only fitting that Kellum should fight the guy who planned to sell his daughter into slavery. Yeah, let's show this guy no mercy. Of course, he's going to be attacking us from range. I don't think he has any special conversation with anyone. I'm pretty sure he doesn't, so that should be fine. Speaking of... yeah, now, you see, the problem here is, this is why 64% off of a Bowbreaker is actually not bad, and he's not doubling either. If I set this up just right... is that enough or not enough? Because, of course, he's just gone and equipped a bow, which means that he's going to, so you do 11 damage. That much. I'm not sure that's going to be quite enough, actually. That does way too much. That does too much. Bronze... oh, well, Bowbreaker. Yeah. Yeah. So, 45 plus 11 makes 56, which is not quite enough. Of course, there is the possibility that she'll just miss, so we've got to have a counter plan for that. And of course, that's not... that is a terrible idea. At 45 plus 17 would probably be too much. Yeah, that would be too much. Because I think Tharia's Dual Strike will actually finish him. Though I could... attempt it now. Actually, I just had an idea. So if I put Shersh onto Kellum, he gains a boost in strength, which is enough to put this guy into weakening range. This might be quite useful. Okay, good. Now, this might not work, but I do have a counter plan in case it doesn't. Come on, Y, you can do this. Find your courage. Or your psychotic split personality. And she jumped. That means it's a definite hit. Excellent. And yeah, that proves she doesn't have a boss conversation with Noir. But that was basically perfect. And gaining strength as well. And her speed's looking very nice too. I am quite liking her level ups. In fact, her speed's actually capped. Though it's capped a bit low because Kellum does have a negative speed modifier. So her speed cap's going to be a bit lower than it would with other fathers. Though her defense cap and strength cap's going to be a lot higher.
Sorry.
Yeah, I fear to think what your split personality could have done to all of those enemies. But who are we to refuse another future child? They're always awesome. Someone she needs to talk to, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't get a conversation during the chapter itself.
What? 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 What?
Well, that makes it pretty obvious.
What are you doing?
Insolence!
What?
So we finally know what that talisman was. So Tharia helped her daughter survive in a ruined future in her own special way by creating a talisman that turns her into a psychotic killing machine. At least it helped her survive.
Pretty much. Useless.
Well, they both have vengeance, so I think she's good at doing retribution as well.
Interesting.
What?
Now, what this leads into, I'll talk about it more on the next part. This is by far one of the most controversial things in this game, so I'll mention it when we actually get to the support conversations. Especially lines like this. But, well, we know, like mother, like daughter in the crazy laughter department. Yep, they've just become the most bizarre family in the history of everything. Next time, we'll be continuing on with this child recruitment spree and recruiting another one of the children that we are probably strong enough to do right now. So, I'll see you next time.